I would like to present our Salutatorian, Hannah Jakobsen.
Congratulations, class of 2013. In case it hasn't hit you yet, we're finally done. And now that it's over, it's easy to look back on high school and remember it as one drawn-out stepping stone, a bridge between childhood and the holy grail here at West Campus, getting into college. But high school was not just a tedious step on the way to a diploma in the real world. What I'm here to remind you is that we actually learned a few lessons along the way. The first lesson that many of us learned in high school is that every stereotypical, cliche, embarrassing moment from an 80s teen movie about high school will definitely happen to you. I learned this on the first day of school, when I spent my first 10 minutes of freshman year wandering the hall trying to find my first period classroom, hoping it would magically appear after I combed through every hallway multiple times. Except, of course, the 60s wing, where, who would have guessed, I eventually found room 62. But the moments didn't stop there. There was sophomore year when, during PE, I ripped my shorts climbing the fence to retrieve a ball on the other side. Mind you, these were the shorts that I had to wear for an hour every single day, now complete with a rather large, unfortunately situated hole in them. Then there was junior year, where, impaired at the hands of sleep deprivation, I must have accidentally worn my clothes inside out at least once a month. Actually, come to think of it, I did that this morning too. But don't worry, I changed. Lesson 2 is something that is preached by students and lamented by teachers. But parents, you may not know that you have been sending your child to West Campus every day for the past 4 years so that they can learn how to effectively procrastinate. I can remember watching the senior awards ceremony as a freshman, sophomore, and junior, and seeing those year's valedictorians and salutatorians display what I assumed was feigned shock and awe as their positions were announced. I say feigned because I assumed that the students who were to give speeches knew weeks in advance, so they had time to prepare something amazing to say at graduation. I never guessed they'd have only a few days to prepare, and I never guessed that the salutatorian would wait until the last of those few days to prepare anyways. Whoops. Then again, I guess we don't know yet whether this particular instance of procrastination was effective. So let's hope these next 3 minutes go well. Nevertheless, I think it's safe to say I'm not the only one whose high school experience has been punctuated by 2 a.m. study sessions and 3 a.m. putting the last details on a project. The third lesson has to do with the fact that high school is one of the first places where you learn that society has certain expectations of you. Expectations that range from who you should be friends with to the way you should act. One of the things that I learned in high school, though, is that you don't always have to meet those expectations. I remember learning quite clearly from the very first high school dances that the correct way to dance involved not free expression through body movement, but rather, at least when performed by a freshman, awkward, stilted hip oscillations. When my friends and I would dance privately, however, we would set our hips free, jumping up and down, swaying our knees, and flailing our arms about wildly and without abandon. Eventually, the crazy way we danced in private made its way to the dance floors of homecoming, Tolo, and prom. We even went so far as to, at the beginning of our senior year, make a pact that we would only dance in this crazy, animalistic manner. Sounds like I really overcame society's expectations of me, huh? Maybe, but it's easy to see now, in retrospect, that what was significant about that pact wasn't that we danced in some prescribed manner, even if that manner was specifically set forth to defy high school stereotypes. The important thing was that we danced however it was that we felt like dancing. Because, as many of us learned in high school, the important thing in life is that you do not what society expects of you, but whatever it is that suits you best. Because if college is about finding yourself, then high school has been about becoming yourself. Letting go of who you're expected to be and what you're expected to do, and just doing whatever it is that you want to do. The important thing isn't that we all procrastinated because that's what everyone else did, and because, for better or for worse, it's built into the culture here at West Campus. The important thing was that we procrastinated because it fit our schedule and worked for us. And anyways, procrastination is a product of hard work. I mean, West Campus students must be dedicated to stay up until who knows when studying for AP Bio or Anatomy or Calculus, because it takes a major drive to learn photosynthesis at 3 in the morning. Class of 2013, we have worked hard to get to this point, and I know that we will be successful from here on out because I know that each and every one of us has stayed up until some ungodly hours studying for some test or finishing some project. We are motivated. And now, on the evening of our graduation, it's the time to celebrate that fact. The fact that we are all motivated enough to get C's in our required classes. Good job, classmates. But it's also a time to celebrate the experiences that we had in high school and the lessons that we learned along the way. You see, the funny thing about these last 4 years is that most of the embarrassing moments, aside from being lost on the first day of school, didn't happen to me when I was a dazed freshman in my first year of high school. They happened when I was supposed to have had everything figured out. But as much as I like to think that by senior year I had things figured out, I still never managed to remember what I wore on Friday enough not to wear the exact same thing again on Monday. The important thing is to take these moments in stride, the moments of wearing PE shorts with a giant hole in the crotch for the entire second half of sophomore year. And so, as we are approaching a new and uncertain future, headed off to college or a different next step, remember that the embarrassing moments are what make life funny, and that, even as a senior, you'll never quite have everything figured out. Remember always to procrastinate. Just kidding, but procrastinate if it works for you. Just remember that you've made it this far, and so you have the motivation to succeed in your future pursuits. Lastly, whether in dancing or in life, remember to set yourself free from society's expectations of you. At the very least, I guarantee you'll have more fun that way. Class of 2013, thank you for an amazing 4 years. Congratulations, we made it.